Welcome to Valdivia for game day 4 of the Americas qualifying campaign for the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Chile set to host Uruguay here at the Coliseo Antonio Azurmendi. I'm Tim Long, it's great to be with you for this Group B game in the second of the 6 qualifying windows. This one hugely significant. 4 groups of 4 in Americas qualifying. The top 3 from each group go through to the next round. So Brazil, as expected, in complete control of Group B. They're now a perfect 4-0 and officially into the next round, having just recorded a big win over Colombia. Uruguay can join them there with a win of their own here this evening. If Chile win, both teams will be well positioned for the next stage. But it's also important to note that records carry through from this first stage, so every game could prove crucial in the end. We're seeing the introduction first of the Uruguayans, the road team for this one, looking to end a 37-year drought to compete at their 8th World Cup. The last appearance for them came in Spain back in 1986. They have been regulars up until that point. It was their 7th appearance in the space of 9 editions. Chile are on an even longer drought. They were bronze medalists twice in the 1950s, but quite remarkably, they've not qualified for the showpiece event since 1959, when they won the 2nd of those medals. They arrived 1 and 2 so far, back-to-back big defeats to Brazil in the Buenos Aires bubble in November by 24 points and 26 points. But they got their first win of the campaign here against Colombia on Friday, 90-76. 5 scorers in double figures. They moved the ball for 25 assists on their 35 field goals. A team performance that gave them a significant platform to build on to try to reach the second stage. They'll try and bring that confidence into this one on home court tonight. Ahead of tip-off, we'll pause for the 2 national anthems.
Escucharemos a continuación el himno nacional de Chile. Muchas gracias.
And these are 2 nations with plenty of past glories. Chile, the 2-time World Cup bronze medalists back in the 50s. And Uruguay, one of just 3 South American countries to win an Olympic medal, along with Brazil and Argentina. They claim bronze in both 52 and 56 At the Olympics, Uruguay, they arrive here with the better record in this group so far, 2-1. They played their first 2 games in that Buenos Aires bubble. They beat Colombia by 8, 83-75, and then down the same opponents by 13 the following night, 69-82. But in Franca, Brazil on Friday, they lost by 19. Despite keeping it tight in the first half, they got blown away in the second. And they're the higher ranked team in the FIBA World Rankings, 41st in the world, Uruguay. Chile, 68th. But they have the home court advantage here in Valdivia this evening. Chile have been to 4 Olympic Games, not since 1956 though. It's been a long wait for the biggest tournaments for these 2 nations. They've had to settle for competition at a continental level since those former glories. Both have shown improvement in recent years though. Uruguay finished 6th as one of the co-hosts at the last edition of the AmeriCup in 2017. A position they haven't bettered since 1988. They were pretty unfortunate not to make the semi-finals of that tournament. And Chile, who aren't even yet to qualify for the main continental competition, the AmeriCup, instead competing every couple of years at the South American Championships. But they have, like Uruguay, a number of young players who are looking to elevate them to the next level. Here's a look at the starting 5 for Uruguay. Batista is at the opposite end of his career. The 38-year-old center gets the start, but they've got young players looking to step in, like Agustin Ubal, the 18-year-old from Barcelona, who's been getting some extended minutes. Joaquin Rodriguez, the 22-year-old, one of the best up-and-coming players for Ruben Magnano's side as well. And he is a vastly experienced Argentine-Italian coach who is hoping to guide those young players with that experience of his own towards qualification. A look at the Chilean starting 5. Sebastian Herrera, the 24-year-old guard, along with Ignacio Arroyo, a 22-year-old in the backcourt, the 2 rising stars on their roster. And they're also led by an Argentine, Christian Santander. Says their aim is to steadily improve, build brick by brick, and ultimately get to the second stage of qualifying. That would represent a success for this Chile program at this stage of their development. Uruguay have a very different looking group to the one that won both games in the first window. They were led then by Bruno Fittipaldo, who had 31 points in the first game and 13 in the second. He's not played in this second window. Marcus Cabot has been very good for them so far. He starts again. And then the captain, Luciano Parodi, who was red hot to start in Brazil on Friday, scored 12 of their first 22 points, but then didn't score again. "79 games planned through 5 days in this second qualifying window across Europe, Africa, Asia, and here in the Americas. This is the very last one. We've witnessed some remarkable drama, comebacks, upsets, pride, progression, passion, and overwhelming and unexpected emotion. Sport, and in this case basketball, has been here to entertain audiences but also to unite nations. As we head towards the first ever FIBA World Cup held in multiple countries, we can hope for a more peaceful backdrop before the 32 qualified nations step out onto the courts in the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia next summer. 7 of those teams will come from the Americas, and these two are both aiming to end long waits to make it to the grand stage. Uruguay won't have been to the showpiece event for 37 years, Chile for 64, and it's Uruguay who are desperate to try and end the drought, but Chile having none of it. The chase back rejection in the opening seconds. What a start, at least in terms of the energy and tenacity from the home team. It looked to be a simple score for Uruguay. They'll go again. Parodi, so impressive to start against Brazil. Three-point shot for them, and they're up and running. Knocked down by Martin Rojas, the 23-year-old forward. Nice passing from the home team, back out. They'll try and respond with a 3. Arroyo off the mark. He's been one of their best players in these qualifiers. Ignacio Arroyo, the 22-year-old. The pass out from Batista. Shot clock winding down again to the far side. They generate a good look from the perimeter, but it rims out. Arroyo taking it straight to the defense, but losing it, and then they fail with Batista to organize a fast break. Morales towards the baseline, passes back, plenty of threes being taken on early in this one. Chile unable to hit one, but they do get the benefit of the whistle. Almost 2 minutes without a point for the home team. A win here this evening for either of these two would go a long way to ending their long droughts, at least taking them towards the second stage of qualifying, if not the World Cup itself. Uruguay have set the tone early on with a couple of threes. Herrera to Morales. Morales will take it past 2, balances the baseline, low catch Arroyo. And he gets it back, Morales in the corner. Beautiful Chilean basketball. It had pace, but also patience. Calm and composed on the perimeter. Franco Morales gets them up and running and ends a 2.5-minute drought. Shot clock is almost expired here, and they're not aware it's a violation. The Chilean bench will celebrate. The turning of the tide, perhaps, in these early exchanges. Uruguay knocking down 2 threes to start, but Chile responding with one of their own. And now a chance to tie or get within 1. Morales driving into the lane. What a positive start from Franco Morales. He was only 2 of 9 from the field on Friday. He's got a couple of field goals already here in the space of 3.5 minutes tonight. Uruguay scored the first 6 points. Chile has scored the last 5. Batista, the 38-year-old, looking to volley his way to the basket. Draws contact and gets a whistle in his favor. There's the 3 from Morales. That was after he started the move with the drive down the baseline, and then he just exploded towards the basket on the dribble. He had 12.7 assists and 5 rebounds, along with 3 steals on Friday, but only hit 2 of his 9 shots. He's 2 of 3 hit. Batista, meanwhile, at the line, the 38-year-old who had 9 points against Brazil on Friday, 5 rebounds, 4 assists as well. And they get the offensive rebound off his second missed free throw. It's going to be Uruguay ball still. Seven on the shot clock. Joaquin Rodriguez, one of their younger stars, passing lane blocked off, but a whistle. And that'll be 3 fouls on Chile in the opening 4 minutes of the first quarter. Isla goes to the bench, having picked up his second. Here's Rodriguez again, looking back out, passing lanes blocked off again, and this time to clinical effect by Ignacio Arroyo. He's perhaps been the most impressive of all the young players on court in this one over the course of this campaign so far. 13 points per game on average, including a couple of games against Brazil. Batista, shot clock winding down on Uruguay again, but the big man well aware and beating the buzzer to get the basket. Uruguay's first score in a while. 3-point shot, Morales has caught fire quickly. He's got 8 of Chile's 10. Down the baseline, little finger roll will fall, getting in behind Joaquin Rodriguez. Midway point of the first quarter, it's been fast and fiery, as you might expect between these two tenacious teams. Deep 3-point shot this time, rims out. Why not, the way Morales has been playing early on, but he misses that one. So much of the play taking place around the perimeter. Everybody getting a touch here for Uruguay. Batista, the man in the middle, though, and that's who they find. A couple of big buckets for Batista. Nice pass into him as well. Able to glance it off the glass for back-to-back baskets for him. Energy again to get in behind from Morales. Uruguay, Rodriguez in particular, calling for a travel on Morales. Let's take a look. He comes away, puts the ball on the floor, and then has Rodriguez riding his back. Called it in Uruguay's favor. Deep 3-point shot this time, nothing but net from a couple of feet back. And Uruguay have picked up the scoring pace again. It's the captain, Luciano Parodi, who started hot against Brazil in Franca on Friday. Plenty of pockets of space on the perimeter this time, stepping in for the long two, Sebastian Suarez. Both teams have unloaded over the course of the opening 6 and a bit minutes. Batista looking to back down into the paint, little touch pass. Parodi on the flyby, the finger roll will fall in the lane. Uruguay through Teo Metza up by 5. Herrera. Franco Morales, the man of the moment for Chile, draws the defense like moths to a flame, kicks to the corner for the miss from Suarez. Final 3 minutes of the first quarter. Uruguay looking to stretch a 5-point advantage. Joaquin Rodriguez, one of a handful of players who did play for them in the first qualifying window as well, gets it back here from Batista. On it the three, big offensive rebound there, and a crowd of red jerseys. And a fresh 14 here for Uruguay. And Batista, the 38-year-old, with the pirouette in the paint, can't get the drop. Uruguay dominating on the boards at the moment, 8-3. Third chance scoring opportunity here on the sidestep, high arcing three. No good for Perotti. So Chile a chance to make it a one-possession game off the nice passing again. 3-point shot, Herrera. He's been shooting well on the inside, but not so much on the perimeter over the course of these qualifiers, just 22%. Batista able to get in behind momentarily. And the basket, but the whistle. He's a real handful still. Bumping off bodies, riding contact, battling to the basket. Physicality and then the touch of finesse. So Uruguay by 7, Chile timeout.
Para que ustedes no lo traten de Esteban y no de señor Batista, no va a cagar a goles. Tiene que ser Esteban, no señor Batista. Paremos un poco. Demasiado respeto, nos hizo goles de todos los colores. Dijimos que él puede hacer goles para que no tengan los tiros de 3 puntos los demás. Pero tampoco la huevada de que el tipo por físico hace goles, por quedar solo en una caída hace goles, por tomar un rebote hace goles. ¡Pará! ¡Pará! Allá nosotros hemos tomado la mayor cantidad de tiros buenos. Entonces está bien. Lo que tenemos que corregir acá es que vamos para 25 el cuarto. Vamos para 100 la proyección. Y no con tanto tiro. Entonces vamos.
It's been a very good offensive start for Uruguay. Chance to make it an 8-point advantage.
De hacerle negro con el lazo. Todavía no. Creo que estamos haciendo para...
They've knocked down some threes, but points in the paint as well. Batista, the man who's been helping them out in that regard. A 10-4 count in Uruguay's favor over Chile, who've been reliant on their ball movement and perimeter attack. Batista, I think, has 6 of those 10 points in the paint for Uruguay. And a chance here to complete a 3-point play to stretch their lead to 8. This is the and one, but he's got 6 points and 4 rebounds, as well as a steal in 8 minutes on court so far. Morales. An explosive quick step towards the basket, hoping to create space for teammates on the perimeter. They've got to get it up. Nowhere near in the end from Arroyo. Quarterback pass down the floor. And looking for the chase back again, but this time it's in vain. The basket for Martin Rojas, despite the very best efforts of Sebastian Suarez. So Uruguay by 9. Ignacio Arroyo. Diego Silva quickly shifting it on. Perez prodding and probing. Silva steps forward, invited to shoot, and it's an air ball. This is very first 3-point shot of these qualifiers, despite playing in every game so far. Albeit only averaging 6 minutes. There's a big disparity in the field goal percentages at the two teams here. Chile had made a positive start, but the points have really dried up for them. Rodriguez moving it on. The passing on the interior. Rodriguez locked and loaded, but not quite hitting the target. Silva. Chile could do with a score and a stop to finish this difficult first quarter. 6 to shoot. Arroyo. They're going to go one-on-one. Little head fake, comes back inside and knocks down the two. Ignacio Arroyo stops the drought for Chile. He makes it a 7-point game. Now they need to try and play some tough defense for a few more seconds. There's a whistle with 3 seconds to play in the first quarter. That last basket from Arroyo was the first score for Chile in over 3.5 minutes. They're at the foul limit, so Uruguay at the line. That foul from Chile really let them off the hook in terms of trying to earn the points down the stretch, with the seconds ticking away. 3 seconds to advance the ball the full length of the floor here. Morales can travel quickly, and he wasn't far away from center court. Well, he lit the fuse early on for Chile, caught fire, but that was quickly doused out by the Uruguayan defense. And it is the road team who've taken a 9-point lead at the end of one. And they're shooting the ball well, 60% inside, 50% on the perimeter. The lead might have been bigger had they hit a decent percentage from the stripe. It was Uruguay who started the scoring with back-to-back threes. And Chile, who had a near 3-minute drought. And that was emphatically ended by the impressive Franco Morales, who off the nice team play knocked down a corner three and then drove inside to make it 5 unanswered for Chile. And Ignacio Arroyo getting out in transition. They took a lead before Uruguay started to fire again. Instead of using their perimeter attack, going to the big man in the center, Batista, who had a series of conversions. And then Chile had a 3.5+ minute drought as Uruguay were able to open up a 9-point lead. Do remember you can download the official app. You can scan the barcode in the next few seconds, or indeed just search for it on the App Store. The FIBA World Cup qualifying app for all of your live stats and more. Here we go, start of the second quarter. Uruguay by 9 and with the ball. They look to create a double-digit lead here off the swift passing, but Chile a chance to get out in transition. Silva back to Perez. Sebastian Herrera. We know he can fire, but he's not started too well yet. Silva nowhere near, despite his best efforts to get to the basket. And there's an offensive foul as Uruguay turn it right back over. turnovers for them, just 3 for Chile. You get the feeling the home side are just about clinging in there. It's only 2 points for Chile in the space of 4.5 minutes, nearly 5 now. Can they get the offense moving again with the kick to the corner and the three-point shot? Yes, they can, through Marcelo Perez. He had a big impact in Friday's win, 10 points in just 13 minutes. 4 of his 7 shots, and he's hit his first one here tonight. Three-point shot for Uruguay to try and answer back. Rebound Chile. Arroyo. They're looking for back-to-back scores here. Arroyo inside. Defense a little slow to get back, but a miss from Aitor Piquet. Really fast-paced confrontation so far here. And Chile able to force a turnover again with the steal and the 3-on-2, but they lose it with Perez. And Rodriguez will make them pay. A series of turnovers for both teams in the opening 2 minutes of this second quarter. Arroyo, the youngster, slips it through the eye of the needle. And the left arm layup is good. An underarm finish from Piquet. He's another 22-year-old. Chile within 6. And another turnover. Arroyo down the floor, 4-on-2 momentarily. They'll take the 3 in transition, and Herrera hits. And from 9 down, Chile within 3. Uruguay paying the price for not protecting the ball. First it was Piquet inside, and then Herrera from the perimeter in transition. Chile have turned it up on the defensive end, no doubt about that. Uruguay have been careless with the ball. Many of their bench players in and letting it slip. Herrera with that 3-point shot. His first basket of the night to close the gap to 3. He's averaging 10.7 points in these qualifiers. He had a team-high 20 in Friday's win. And he was 9 of 16 from the field, had 6 rebounds, 3 assists and 4 steals as well. Might just get him going. Point when Chile are very much back in business. Open 3 in transition though. And that was just a defensive breakdown to allow them to pass away from a half-hearted press that swiftly for the open shooter. There's a foul on Uruguay. And Santiago Vidal, I think. That was a pass from Vidal onto the corner. It was a nice pass, but completely unguarded. It was Joaquin Rodriguez. Herrera gives it back to Arroyo. Arroyo very careful Very clinical with the ball in his hands, but not clinical around the rim. Blows the open layup after doing all of the hard work. Vidal slips it inside, picked off again. How many turnovers in the opening 3.5 minutes of this second quarter for Uruguay, but then just running into a Uruguayan wall was Herrera. And persistent to pass on the perimeter, high catch, reeled in high above his head before hitting the shot in the corner. Gonzalo Iglesias. Uruguay back up by 9 in no time at all, after Chile had got within 3. Perez, another layup missed. He wants a call from the official. They've counted the basket on a goaltend. Perez, yeah, the ball hits the glass before the defense interferes. That makes it a goaltend. So 7 the differential, 5 points for Perez. 6 minutes to play in the first half. Back out, trying to pass in tight quarters, Uruguay. And foul on Herrera. His first non-shooting foul, so Uruguay inbound again into a pack of players in the paint, and they get the points. So Uruguay back up by 9 again. Morales. And Perez moving through the paint, looking back out. Deep, deep three-point shot, too long Herrera. And there was an offensive foul anyway, so both teams have 2 now here in the second. Uruguay looking for the first double-digit lead, midway point of the second quarter. Rodriguez. He's really starting to come to the fore. Iglesias slipping it in, shot clock's ticking down. Are they aware? It's a travel anyway. Yet another Uruguayan turnover. They've had 8 of them now. Many of those coming over the last 5 minutes or so. 3 more turnovers than Chile. But Chile have really struggled to shoot the ball. Vachman with the turnover that time. Timeout Chile, they're down by 9.
Uno contra uno, solo finta, no soltamos ninguno de los tiradores. Miren, el juego físico no creo que sea el que más nos convenga. Nosotros necesitamos generar juego, necesitamos fluir un poco. Hubo un par de cosas buenas, que nos pasamos el balón, que rompimos, que tocamos, que tomamos tiro. Ese es el juego que necesitamos. Lo que fue la zona y la presión es un momento del partido, probamos alguna bien. Ahora tenemos que volver a la defensa individual y a creer en eso y hacerlo bien. Que nosotros, lo que acá necesitamos son los 6 puntos.
As we see the replay of the corner 3 for Rodriguez, you see the number of fast break points, 10-2 in Uruguay's favor. That's despite them having 3 more turnovers than their opponents. They've been able to get out for quicker transition scores. A large part of that is down to the amount of misses from the field for Chile and the fact that they're a small team, Chile. They've only grabbed 1 offensive rebound in the whole game. So Uruguay protecting their backboard, and that allows them to get out in transition off those Chile misses. Silva. 9 the deficit again, as it has been several times in this first half. Shot clock to 5. Spin in the paint. Defense stuck to Sebastian Suarez like glue, and then a whistle. There's a bit of housekeeping to deal with before we get the inbound, but it will be Chile ball again with 14 on the shot clock. Sebastian Suarez with a problem, so he'll make the change. Here comes Carlos Laulé. It's a big 4.5 minutes for Chile. Herrera into the lane, bumping bodies with his opponent and still getting the drop. Sebastian Herrera starting to heat up a little. A young man who plays in Germany and in the Basketball Champions League with Oldenburg. Iglesias slipping it inside. Really positive play in the paint. As has been the case all game long from the Uruguayan bigs. It's Vashman who scores that time, but Batista doing that job before him as well, and now they can get out off a defensive rebound in transition again. Chile get back behind the ball though. Vashman once more. Spinning baseline, and he'll finish neatly on the reverse, and it's the first double-digit lead of this ball game. That's 6 each for Vashman and Batista. On the interior now, that's where Uruguay are doing their damage. That's a deep 3, and it's good for Franco Morales. If in doubt, give the ball to him. That's 11 points now, as he closes the gap to 8. The foul on Herrera, his second. Again, they go onto the interior time and time again. And again, they get hit hard. Vashman up to 8 points. Chile keep on trying to attack on the outside. There's a foul on Rojas. Arroyo to inbound. Morales. Blocked off by Vashman. Shot clock to 5. Spin in the paint. Laulé with the hula moves. Is Ubal, the youngest star of them all. These two teams who have plenty of young stars, but the 18-year-old turns it over. Carlos Laulé with the spin and the finish. Here he is again, the 25-year-old. Morales. Morales looking to show his unlimited range. He's done it already in this first half. Can't do it again, and Uruguay with a 3-on-2 fast break. Vashman with a rare miss. And then a whistle from the baseline official. Vashman's first miss of the game, having hit his previous 3 shots and his previous 2 free throws. Herrera's going to go out. He really has been fast and frantic. Herrera's picked up a 3rd personal foul. So that's why he goes to the bench on 5 points. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Ubal shifted on. Batista back in the game. Centers continue to twist and torment. And Iglesias is the weapon on the perimeter. Uruguay by 11. A minute and a half to play in the first half. He's got 8 points. Arroyo draws the defense. Far side shot will fall. Sebastian Silva. Every time you think Uruguay are going to pull away, Chile knocked down a 3, but with the bit between his teeth in a big way. The talented teenager, Agustin Ubal. The Barcelona Juniors player with a chance at a 3-point play. He showed that kind of confidence and belief in his own ability at Barcelona on Friday, although he was held to only 2 of 9 from the field for his 7 points. But he's desperate to drive, desperate to show the world what he can do. So Uruguay with a big offensive first half here, lead by 11. Final minute of the second quarter. Morales. Little up fake, got Batista out the way. And able to score. The basket for Aitor Piquet. It's a battle to see if it's a double-digit or single-digit margin at the half. It favours Chile now in that regard. Down by 9, they have the ball back again. 11 seconds differential. Morales down the edge of the paint, slipping the bounce pass in towards Piquet. Picked off, but still Chile ball. No doubt the happier of the coach is Ruben Magnano, but there's a long way to go in this one. Morales looking far side. He's got the hot hand at the moment. Doesn't go, though, for Sebastian Silva. So Uruguay, if they play it right, should have the final shot of what has been a hot first half for them. It's Batista. Little push shot, difficult one. That one, I don't think away in time. Off the mark anyway from Morales. And Uruguay are in control at the half. They've produced some big offensive numbers. Over the first 20 minutes, they lead by 9, 36-45 in Chile. Here's a look at some of those numbers. 12 of 19 on the inside for 63%, 6 of 11 on the outside for 55%. The better shooting numbers, and in a big way, the better rebounding numbers. That's been crucial to help generate high-scoring opportunities in transition, limit Chile's chances as well. Morales, the top scorer in the game with 11, but nobody else on more than 5 for Chile. A more balanced approach from Uruguay. Uruguay have several players who've knocked down threes. Started with Rojas early on. The first 2 shots of the game, both of them on the outside. Chile able to take the lead off the back of that. Morales, a spark for the comeback as they went up, scoring the next 7 points. But a big drought towards the end of the first half for them. And Uruguay opened a bit of a gap. A 14-23 first quarter in favor of Uruguay. They were level, the two teams 22 points apiece in the second. But the question is whether Chile can produce a big quarter of their own in the second half to close the gap now. A balanced approach for Uruguay sees 8 points from Iglesias, many of them on the exterior, 8 points for Vashman on the interior, as well as 6 for Batista on the inside as well. He leads the way with 5 rebounds. They also had 5 points for Rojas and for Metzger. Seven for Joaquin Rodriguez as well. Uruguay with offensive weapons inside and out. For Chile, for the most part, it's been on the exterior, but a basket on the inside there for Sebastian Herrera. Vashman and Batista are doing the business in the center position for Uruguay. You get the feeling Chile are going to live or die by the three-point shot. We'll find out which it's going to be in the second half, but they're down by 9 at the main break. Chile 36, Uruguay 45 at half-time in Valdivia.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
In the Virgin Islands team, but that's a strong play at the other end of the floor. It is just a quick first step.
Mexico start resorting to those shots. This is going to be USA's game. Quickly transition, Stockton under the basket. It's too easy. The United States now have come out here a lot more focused.
Jamie King controlling the point for Canada to Wiltshire. That's within his range. All day long for Kyle Wiltshire.
Crowd appreciates it. And almost the travel. Bombino decides he's going to take matters into his own hand.
Lovely shoulder shake to lose the defense. Can't get the score though, Munnings. Given away, and the Dominican Republic will take the lead. Richards inside. Brings out a bit of a circus shot. Not sure he needed to, but it's a good looking 2 points from Xavier Richards. Cadot lives it with Montero. Montero to Solano, comes back, and there's the transition dunk for Montero.
Mendes now looks for a handoff here. Turns it over. Now, what do we have here? Well, the bells are ringing in transition as the NBA champion in 2018, Jordan Bell.
It could be a 3 straight turnovers. Moya may have to get a timeout as Puerto Rico go down and rock the house through Ortiz. They love it when the big man throws it down. This is De Jesus. Look at this. Gets it back to Ortiz.
Run now. His last box. Give this one up to Jaime. It's a handoff now with Mendez. Behind the back pass. Oh, baby! You gotta love it. Well, Mendez with a bit of spectacular there.
Welcome back to Valdivia, where we'll take a look at the top scorers for the two teams. Vashman leads the way in a well-spread offensive performance from Uruguay so far. He's got 8 points as they put up 45 as a team. With his first 3 shots from the field, his first and only 2 free throws as well, before then missing a field goal attempt. But those 8 points coming in 9.5 minutes. That was after Batista in that position had done a lot of good work before that as well. The top scorer in this game so far is Chile's Franco Morales, who's got 11 points. He started the scoring for them, scored their first 5 points to bring them back after they conceded the first 6 in the game. 1 on the perimeter and then 1 driving onto the interior. He's shown plenty of energy, confidence and responsibility so far, but needs a bit of help. He's got 11 points in nearly 15 minutes. Nobody else has more than 5 for Chile. He's 4 of 8 from the field, which includes 3 of 6 on the perimeter. Uruguay will certainly come back out the happier of the two teams. They're looking to go 3-1 and to recover from losing against Brazil on Friday, having won both games in the first window against Colombia. The win for Uruguay would officially book their place in the second stage of qualifying, give them solid platform from which to push forward to try and get the best record possible to finish as one of the top 3 in the second stage as well, or the best 4th place team in those 2 groups in the second stage to make it to the World Cup for the first time in 37 years. Look at their leaders in the various categories. 8 for Iglesias, as well as the 8 that we featured for Vashman. 5 rebounds along with the 6 points for Esteban Batista. Creatively, the captain, Luciano Parodi, who was more of a scorer against Brazil on Friday, has been pulling the strings for them. 4 assists and 2 steals for Parodi. There's a look at the line for Iglesias, the other Uruguayan with 8 points. He's had a big impact, particularly on the perimeter. 3 of 3 from the field, but 2 of 2 from downtown. Those 8 points coming in just 7.5 minutes so far. He's also got 3 rebounds in that time. As for Chile. We've talked about the 11 points of Morales. He's also got a team-high 3 rebounds. Ignacio Arroyo with a couple of assists for them. They've only got 7 assists in the game, Chile. Uruguay have 12. Despite some positive signs in terms of their early ball movement. Morales has those 11 points, 3 rebounds and an assist. But where's the help going to come from? Sebastian Herrera is perhaps the one expected to step up in that regard. He's got 5 points, but only hitting 2 of his 6 shots so far. He's also playing on 3 fouls now. Eduardo Isla there also has 3 fouls for Chile. There's nobody on more than 2 for Uruguay. Morales has done his bit. Herrera, who scored 20 points on Friday, they all hope will step up as well. They had 5 scorers in double figures in that game and 25 assists on their 35 field goals, Chile. So we know that they can do it. They had 10 from Marcelo Perez, 12 from Aitor Piquet. As well as 8 assists from Ignacio Arroyo. Where are the points going to come from in the second half here?
Acá, Esteban, una vez que fue y vení y atacamos y vemos qué es lo que hay. ¿Listo? Vamos, dale. Vamos. Defensa sigue igual. Vamos.
Vamos a entrar al último a 4, para construir, no volverse loco. Vamos, dale. Vamos. 1, 2, 3, Chile. Dale.
Magnano's Uruguay in control at the moment as we get set to start the second half in Valdivia. Up by 9 after a big offensive half, 45 points. Nothing too wrong with the offense in terms of the overall numbers for Chile. The big question is, can they stop Uruguay at the other end to overturn this 9-point deficit? They only had 4 turnovers in the game, Chile. Uruguay 9, so they've protected the ball well. They've passed it well, as I say. They've just not knocked down their shots. That's got to change. But also the defense has to change. Arroyo. They get another good look on the perimeter from another nice pass. Perez misses. Uruguay looking to open up a double-digit lead. Ubal, or Rodriguez rather, into Batista. He's been so effective on the inside. Chile just don't have a player who can match up against Batista, or indeed against his replacement Vashman. There's a block from Batista. Block from Batista as well. Chile will go again. Arroyo. Piquet has it picked off. Now he tries to chase back. We'll wait for the cavalry to arrive. And it was played so patiently and so purposefully, and Uruguay have the largest lead of the game at 13. Laulé back out. Perez into traffic and trying to take it. That Batista was Piquet, doing a great job of doing so. Three-point shot, far side, rims out. Rebound Piquet. It's at a dangerous moment for Chile here. They can't afford to let the deficit grow too much. Offensive rebound, if they can grab it, they can't. They've only grabbed one all game long. There's a look at the disparity in terms of the field goal accuracy as well at the bottom of your picture. Batista coming out to run interference on the perimeter, working with Parodi, the captain. It rolls back out for the pickup off the deck three. But it's Chile who need a pickup right now. Uruguay have a 14-point lead. Iglesias has yet to miss. He's got 11 perfect points. And Arroyo lost it on the dribble. Only the 5th turnover for Chile. But Uruguay tightening the screw here. Look at the pass behind the back. To the elbow. It's another high feed towards Batista. Go to the benches with Uruguay up by 14. And Chile in need of some inspiration.
Vamos tranquilo. Hay muchas cosas en su ofensiva que no jugaron ni ventana pasada ni ayer o el otro día. Entonces nosotros tenemos que ir viendo durante el juego qué es lo que está pasando. Hay una situación para buscar a Batista como opción principal y a partir de ahí jugar. Bueno, vamos a ir a comunicar lo que está pasando. Necesitamos la información de un compañero al otro.
And there's the three. After it rolled back fortuitously to Iglesias, but he has been locked and loaded and hitting the target all night long. Iglesias leads the way for Uruguay now with 11 points in 10 minutes on 4 of 4 shooting, including 3 threes. And they're looking to stretch this 14-point lead. Rodriguez breaks free. Guarded by Arroyo. Parodi, he's been pulling the strings with his passing so far this evening, gets it back. Roddy threatens to pull the trigger. It's going to be a shot clock violation. "14 points, you feel, is pretty much the tipping point. If it gets worse than this for Chile, they are in deep, deep trouble. They can knock down a couple of threes, they're right back in it. They've been jacking up plenty all night long. It was a nice penetrating pass from Morales, but the defense catching up with the shooter. Morales skipping through. A dazzling dribble. And the tenacious play from Franco Morales that we've seen all evening long. And then a Uruguay turnover off the back of it. 13 points for Morales now. And Chile have a chance. It's been a live wire, but a very controlled live wire throughout the course of the evening. Arroyo. 3-point shot. Herrera, well short. He's not quite at it. Sebastian Herrera. And off Batista before setting the sizable frame. They go for a bit more showtime with Rodriguez. Herrera so far held to 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Three-point shot, got it back off the inbound. Chile are hanging around. Arroyo takes the early three, makes the three, and makes it a single-digit margin again. Ignacio Arroyo, who's also been quiet, maybe starting to heat up. And 4 points for him before that bucket. Little floater in the lane, no good for Perotti. And here comes Morales down the floor. 3-point shot again, Suarez rims out. Well, that would have made it really close. 14 has been the largest lead for Uruguay. They're short on the finger all that time, and Chile can push the ball in transition, but make a mess of it. Midway point of the third quarter, Perotti. The crossover on the far side, the captain looking to calm it down for Uruguay. Difficult shot over the top of Piquet. And then Batista, well, he wants a foul. They at least get the ball. It takes something to knock down 2 meters 7, 38-year-old rock at the center, Esteban Batista. Off the touch pass, wide open three. And these Uruguay misses are opening the door for a Chilean comeback. Foul on Luciano Perotti. Second on Uruguay in this quarter. As he walks across to the bench. It's only his first personal. Still only 2 players on 2 for Uruguay, nobody on more than 2. Rodriguez and Vashman have 2. Chile have a couple of players on 3, Herrera and Isla. Here is Herrera. Looking to take on Perotti down the center with Suarez missing it. Now a chance for that matchup the other way. The pass to the far side, then to the baseline, and then for the cut down the center. Vashman hoping to get back in the game with a bang, but Uruguay have started to suffer a drought now. Can Chile make the most of it? 3-point shot, Morales. He has been the man here tonight. Franco Morales on the mark again. 16 points, 4 of 7 from downtown. It's a 6-point game, having been a 14-point Uruguayan lead. Vashman inside, misses. And then a whistle as he gets hit. Morales has just been feeling it from the opening tip. Morales has just picked up his 3rd foul, though. That's a big problem for them. He's been the one-man offense for them. Iglesias for Uruguay able to score again. That was Ubal, rather. He's got 5 points. Here's a chance on the perimeter. They penetrate the paint instead. Little dish off. The denial from behind, but the persistence in the paint. Araya with the score. Ubal. Entry pass from Ubal had to be played to perfection, just about tamed on the baseline. Ubal at the end of the shot clock for 3, misses. Morales going for the rebound. They've called it in Uruguay's favor. Ruben Magnano was standing pretty comfortably over on the Uruguayan bench for a while, with them opening up a 14-point lead, but Chile have closed it to 6. Uruguay are struggling to score at the moment. They'll try and change that here. Vashman misses as Chile close up the paint now. The centers not having it their way as they were in the first half. Driving layup doesn't go for Sebastian Herrera. Uruguay, well, they may well turn it over. Having a chance in transition, a jump ball has been forced. Uruguay get it back, an attack, and score. And it's that young man again, Agustin Ubal, who comes up with a big play and a big celebration. Some mid-air contact, kept his concentration, and produced a finish for a chance at a three-point play. One that the teenager takes to ease the pressure that has been building on Uruguay and to cut short the Chile comeback. Suarez draws his man out to go around him on the baseline, draws the double team, far side shot, knocked down by Morales, who can't miss right now. Franco Morales up to 19 points. Give some credit to his teammate, though, for finding him after drawing 2 of the defenders away. Morales now in transition. Uruguay back behind the ball. Morales on the move, taking the 3, misses that one. He's just in the mood to shoot, the way he's playing at the moment. He gets a hand in the face of his opponent as well, but the shot's still knocked down by Santiago Vidal. Uruguay by 8, final minute of the third. It's Arroyo this time for 3, air ball for Ignacio Arroyo, who over the first 3 qualifiers shot 47% on the outside. Knocking down 2.3 a game on average. There's the Vidal shot with Morales getting as close as he possibly could. Nothing wrong with the defense. Ignacio Arroyo, though, now just 1 of 4 on the outside. So there's 15 seconds on the shot clock, 15 seconds differential. Vidal to Ubal. Ubal trying to play the role of provider this time, turns it over. Here's Arroyo. Chile wise to slow it down here and take their time because the shot clock's been turned off at the end of the third. They've got to keep the ball, though, and they don't. There's plenty of time here for Uruguay. Ubal can travel quickly, hangs towards the baseline, can't hit. And that will do it for a back-and-forth third quarter in which Uruguay opened up a 14-point lead, but Chile got as close as 6. And the margin at the end of 3 is 8 points. Chile 51, Uruguay 59. The numbers pretty even on the interior, at least in terms of the percentages now. Chile knocking down more threes, but Uruguay hitting at a better accuracy on the perimeter. Chile certainly improving in terms of their field goal percentage, although they committed as many turnovers in that third quarter as they did in the whole of the first half. Uruguay, who've been committing plenty of turnovers early on, started to protect the ball better. Just stopped making their shots for a large portion of the quarter, which allowed Chile to close the gap from 14 down to 6. Morales, just get the ball to him when you can. That time, Morales, with the help of Sebastian Suarez, taking the attention of the defense. Vidal over the top of Morales at the other end, answering back. Morales has 19 points, though, to lead Chile. Nobody else has more than 7. Do remember to download the World Cup Qualifiers app to get all of the stats, news and highlights. We're right at the end of the qualifying window for this February. This the last of 79 planned games across the Americas, Africa, Europe and Asia. There's plenty more to come. 4 more qualifying windows. The next one, the last one of the first stage in the summer, and then 3 more in the second stage ahead of the 2023 FIBA World Cup at the end of next summer. Chile start the fourth with the ball and with a spring in their step. Desperate to get points and get them quickly and send an early statement to Uruguay. Positivity in passing. Piquet's play on the interior gets them a trip to the line. Chile are at the line for the first time tonight. Piquet making 1 of 2. Haven't gone onto the interior and battled in the paint too often. Vidal. He slips it through, and Vashman able to score. That's double digits for him, the second Uruguayan into double figures behind the 11 of Iglesias. 9 the lead for Uruguay. Morales, an air ball. He might need a bit more help here in this fourth quarter. Vashman the long 2. A big rebound that leads to a foul. Got by Marcelo Perez. He took a bit of a bump for his attempt at grabbing the board. Morales. Herrera. Three-point shot, far side, doesn't go. I said earlier that Chile would live or die by the three. Given they take so many, it's not such a big deficit. They could quickly catch Uruguay up if they can make a string of them. Oh, how about that one for Ubal, riding the contact down the edge of the paint to the baseline, but does it count? He's saying it should. He's really stepping up, Agustin Ubal. That's a great part of the learning curve for the 18-year-old. Playing in these qualifiers, playing a significant role in important games for Uruguay. That last shot didn't count for him, and they miss the following attempt, so Chile still only down by single figures. Perez. Piquet. Morales. Nice pass this time from him into Piquet in the center. And Chile close the gap to 7. Line for Piquet. Ubal. On the move, little stutter dribble and shoots over the top of his opponent. Ubal has come to play down the final stretch. The teenager up to 10. Morales. Back out, open shot, Perez. They're desperate for it, they don't get it. Uruguay can look to make it a double-digit lead again. Vidal skipping through, kicking out. Ubal, plenty of time left on the shot clock. Agustin Ubal this time will take the 3. And a call in Uruguay's favor. There's the feed from Morales and the finish from Piquet, but Ubal over the top of Piquet in retaliation. Here he goes again, working with Vashman, finding him, nice catch. Left-hand layup doesn't go. Morales around the high screen. Olaire lost it on his way through. And not hanging around, Vidal plays the 1-2. And takes the points off the swift ball movement. Uruguay up by double digits at 11. Lovely pass from Morales into Herrera. Morales, who was all of the offensive firepower, has now become the facilitator. Ubal jinking and jiving, gliding, floating but not finishing. Morales. That's going to be the 3rd foul on Uruguay. Ubal with the block on Olaire, getting Vidal out in transition. We'll go to the benches for a timeout. This one is far from finished. Chile 56, Uruguay 65, 6 minutes to play. A win for Chile would tie these two teams for second place in the group at 2-2. A win for Uruguay would officially put them through to the second stage at 3-1 and drop Chile to 1-3. They would remain in third, but only one win ahead of Colombia. Morales, three-point shot, Herrera. Got a good look on the outside off the back of the timeout, but couldn't take it. Rodriguez. Ubal. Rodriguez. Looking back out, it's Ubal again. He's got the hot hand right now. Passes out, near side, three-point shot. No good for Metzer. Offensive rebound, though. And a fresh 14. Joaquin Rodriguez to try and work with it. Blazes down the edge of the paint, spinning, into trouble, back out, fading away, getting denied. Some tenacious defense from Chile. They're going to have to show more of that over the next 5 minutes. Herrera directing traffic. Morales. That's Ubal. High catch. How about the composure in the paint from Piquet, but he couldn't score after getting his opponent flying past him. He was appealing for something from the official. Did not get the answer he wanted. I've had a glimpse into the talent of Agustin Ubal, no doubt, especially in this second half. The teenager has been terrific. Here he is again, through the legs, crosses over, past Vashman, back out Rodriguez. How about the finish from Joaquin Rodriguez? Uruguay by 11, and their youngsters are stepping up when it matters most. Morales, fouled by Ubal. That's the fourth on Uruguay, so any more fouls from their defense for the rest of the game will send Chile to the line. Still close enough, but Chile are running out of time to make their run. That will help. Maybe that will spark it. It's a big basket for Perez. 9 the gap. Now the big question that remains is, can they get defensive stops? They need them. Rodriguez. Up high, Vashman caught it on the way down, looking back out. The energy to slice and dice the defense from Martin Rojas. He's tracking Morales all the way coast to coast. And there is that fifth foul on Uruguay. Talked about Chile still having time. What we also need to consider is 3.5 minutes is a long time for them, because they're a team with players who can travel and score points quickly, as we just saw down the floor in the blink of an eye from Franco Morales. And especially now that Uruguay are at the foul limit, if they can continue to attack with that kind of energy and aggression, they can stop the clock and get to the line and try and chip away at this 11-point deficit. This is only their second trip to the stripe all game. Morales is first, and he gets them both to hit 21 points. The only Chile player on double figures, after they had 5 in double figures the other night. They try and take it away from Uruguay, who get it back and just about keep it. With those red jerseys flying all around them, trying to block passing lanes and block angles and pick pockets. Rodriguez, skipping and scoring as he glances in off the glass. Joaquin Rodriguez with some super shots down the final stretch. 9 points for Rodriguez, but a couple of fantastic field goals in money time. Timeout Chile.
Tenemos que jugar más rápido, salir corriendo, bueno, agarrar el rebote. Vamos.
Vamos un minuto y medio de generar puntos a través de la transición. O sea, rompernos el culo atrás, rebote, correr sin parar. Tocar el pique en transición, tocar pique en transición si es necesario y abrís a ver si provocamos que en el tiempo que queda hay más posesiones y no nos paramos tanto a elaborar acá.
You really have to give great credit to Joaquin Rodriguez and Agustin Ubal, the 22-year-old and the 18-year-old, who have produced the goods in the fourth quarter for Uruguay. Ubal up to 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists and a block. Rodriguez now up to 11 points. And most of those have come down the stretch. It's Uruguay who have the sweet spread on the offensive end. On this occasion, 4 scorers in double figures, 1 more on 9, 1 more on 8. They lead Chile by 11. 3 minutes to play. Morales, who's got 21 points to lead all scorers, but the only Chilean in double figures, gets tripped from behind and will go to the line again. That seems to be the tactical plan, the weapon that Chile have in their locker now, with Uruguay at the foul limit. And Morales so deadly on the dribble. This is the time where they need to make them. Down by this margin inside the final 3 minutes. Morales, who's been near impeccable all night, misses the first. At least recovers to hit the second. 22 points for him. Piquet and Herrera on 9, the next top scorers for Chile. Rodriguez gets it back. Off the crossover, takes the 3. Need to protect their backboard. Morales able to grab it. It's not over yet for Chile. Morales, they're hanging around. Thanks to him, scooped underarm layup. Somehow finding a way to finish. And Chile may yet find a way back from the brink. 24 for Morales here this evening. It's an 8-point margin. Look at this shot. And under the arm of his opponent, Metzer. And getting his geometry spot on. Ubal. And the teenager helped Uruguay see off Chile once and for all. Agustin Ubal in the mood to finish the job. 12 points for him. Most of them have come in the fourth quarter. Battling straight back Marcelo Perez, but they can't afford to trade blows at this stage, Chile. They need to force turnovers or at the very least misses. It's an 8-point margin with 99 seconds to play. And Chile are now at the foul limit as well, so they need Uruguay to miss free throws. This has been a display of a boy becoming a man from Agustin Ubal. I said he showed plenty of confidence at Brazil on Friday when he scored 7 points, although only shot 2 of 9 from the field. He's got 13 points in this one on 5 of 9 shooting. This is that second one. 90 seconds to play, 9 the deficit. They don't just need points, they need quick points. Morales from way outside misses. And surely that is that. Despite his very best efforts, taking on all the responsibility for the Chilean offense with 24 points. Shifted on by Ubal, the missed layup, second bite of the cherry, that one missed too. Arroyo, 3, they need it, they don't get it. Perez misses. It's still a 9-point deficit. We're not giving up hope just yet. We'll go to the bench for a Chile timeout.
Vamos a hacer esto. Vamos a hacer esto. Seba, soltá un poquito acá a Guayam, si está para tocar alguno, para recibir. Soltalo un poco para que veas si eres el receptor y si recibe anda a dar la falta. Vamos a tratar de dar una falta a uno que no pasó por la línea. Vamos a apostar a ver si la bola va en otro, vamos con otro. Vamos a evitar que sea Metzger y vamos a ver si entra Parodi en el último minuto. Si ellos pasaron la pelota y pasaron más de 10 segundos, ya no cortamos, tenemos que defender. Y es blue, y es blue, y es blue. Dale.
This one has been so even through the last 3 quarters, but the 9-point margin in the first quarter is the 9-point margin in the game right now. Chile failing to recover from that slow start. The second quarter was dead even. They won the third quarter by 1. They're losing the fourth quarter by 1. But they lost that first quarter 14-23. It appears that will be their downfall. Rodriguez for 3. There's a whistle. Both teams at the foul limit here in the fourth, so free throws to come. Chile finally look beaten. Vashman with a very accomplished performance, 4 of 11 from the field, limited in that regard, but 11 points, 5 rebounds. The lane opens up for the drive, but the miss from Herrera. It's not been his night at all. It's 4 of 12 shooting for his 9 points. Here's Vashman again. He'll go to the line again. Disappointed with himself, he couldn't stick it home for a chance at a three-point play, but the job is done in terms of the win for Uruguay. It's taken them right until the final couple of minutes of the game to get it done. Ruben Magnano's team are about to officially confirm their place in the second stage of qualifying. Two more points for Morales. He remains just as determined as when he started the game. 26 for the evening, but it will come on the wrong side of the result. Ubal will the teenager take on one more shot. Agustin Ubal, step back, long range two, seals the deal in deadly fashion. Uruguay secure their place in the second stage as they aim to end a 37-year drought for a place at the World Cup. The final score, Chile 67, Uruguay 76. What a way to finish. Agustin Ubal leading the charge with 15 points in the end, knocking down that final shot to make it a 9-point win. And that the exact margin by which Uruguay won that first quarter. The two teams were absolutely even over the final 30 minutes, but the first quarter separated them. And Uruguay moved to 3-1, only behind Brazil in the group. And they go through today with Brazil to the second stage. Do stay with us as we wrap this one up. From Valdivia, Chile fall to 1-3. We'll take a look at the stats. Not too much separating them in percentage terms, but Uruguay knocking down 7 more baskets on the interior. Rebounding numbers were big in their favor, including 12 offensive rebounds to Chile's 4. That helped them generate extra scoring opportunities. And they finished with 4 scorers in double figures, led by the 15 of the 18-year-old Ubal. 12 for Vashman, 11 each for Iglesias and Rodriguez. Let's take a look at the best of the action from the second half, and it was tight all the way, despite Uruguay opening a 14-point lead at one stage. That was quickly reduced to 6. Chile always seemed like they potentially had the offensive firepower if they could start knocking down threes, with Morales in the mood to dizzy the defense. But it was whether they could find the answers on the defensive end. It never looked like that would be the case. They failed really to put together a significant run at any stage. Never really threatened too much at the comeback to get Uruguay too concerned, despite Morales unloading everything he had to finish with 26 points, 8 rebounds and 3 assists on 9 of 17 shooting. But nobody else had double figures for Chile, and it was the balanced approach of Uruguay that saw them through. Ubal leading the way with 15, but not just 4 scorers on double figures. They also had 9 for Rojas and 8 for Batista. They spread the play around for 18 assists. Clinical in transition. And getting a big road win here on game day 4. Rodriguez, after a tough start, produced down the stretch as well. Plenty of indicators it will be a bright future for Uruguay. An 18-year-old and a 22-year-old seeing off Chile in the fourth quarter. You have to feel for Morales, who had some night, but needed some help. Didn't get much. Nubel got the final score to take him top of the scoring charts and take Uruguay to the second stage. It's been a pleasure having your company throughout the course of this second qualifying window as we see the Group B standings, Uruguay and Brazil through to the second stage, but results carry through from this stage. So 2 more games to come in the next window. They will still both want to finish as strongly as possible. And Chile on course to go through as well, third in the group. The top 3 go through, but they're only 1 win ahead of Colombia with those 2 more games to come. We'll see you in the summer for the 3rd qualifying window for the 2023 FIBA World Cup.